So the big question for today is what happens if you put E85 fuel in a non-E85 vehicle, and today we're going to find out. This is our guinea pig for today. It's just a regular old 2000 Civic, nothing special, stock fuel system, you know, stock injectors, fuel lines, fuel pump, nothing special, just a totally generic old Honda. Let me start off by saying that this might not be the best idea. You might not want to try this at home, guys. Most of the time they have larger injectors, a special fuel pump, and fuel lines to accommodate the 85 fuel. There's a couple reasons for that. I'm going to go over some of the reasons that I'm aware of. First of all, 85 fuel is 85% ethanol. So ethanol could be corrosive to seals and gaskets and things that a regular vehicle has that a 85 capable vehicle is made for. You know, they have different fuel lines, different fuel pump, different gaskets and seals, things that can withstand the 85 fuel and can withstand the corrosive nature of it. Another thing is the 85, it likes to contain water if it sits for a long period of time. So if you're going to be using 85, it's a good idea that to drive it on a regular basis so it doesn't have a chance to accumulate any water. Let's see. Yeah, those are some of the major cons, but some of the pros are that it's a lot cheaper than regular gas. Up to 40-50 cents a gallon cheaper depending on the time of the year and how much, you know, regular gasoline costs. We're about to find out here in a minute. But on the flip side, it does take 30 to 40% more fuel to have the same AFR as regular gasoline. So it is cheaper per gallon, but it needs more fuel to run. Since it does need 30 to 40% more fuel, that naturally lets the engine run cooler. This allows more aggressive timing before detonation, and the 85 alone is equivalent to something like 110 octane if you were to compare it to regular gasoline. So those are some pros, but what I really want to do today is just see what happens when I put 85 in this car. It's pretty much on fumes right now, so it's a good opportunity, but I want to put 85 and see what happens. See if it even runs at all. I have an AFR gauge, so I'm going to be tracking the air fuel ratios and see what happens. If it does need 30 to 40% more fuel to be equivalent, then it would be that much leaner, and my guess is it probably would die and not even run at all. So as you can see, I do have the air fuel ratio pretty dialed in. Stoichiometric is 14.7 with gasoline. If you're not sure what that is, it's literally just air fuel ratio. It's 14.7 parts air to 1 part fuel, and that's the most efficient ratio for gasoline to burn. And this is what we're going to be watching whenever I fill up with 85. We're going to take a look at this ratio and see what happens to it. 85 is 190 a gallon compared to premium, which is 270. So it's 80 cents cheaper per gallon. Here we go. I'm guessing the car's just going to turn off. It's going to be so lean, it's just going to die. Okay, here we go. Here's the moment of truth. I'm going to start pumping. Then I'm just going to keep an eye on the air fuel ratios and see what happens, and see if the car even runs. 85 is pumping. What should happen here is it'll go really, really lean and probably stall out, honestly. We're at 4 gallons. I'm sure it has to burn off the rest of the fuel and the fuel lines. There we go. It's starting to go lean. 15.4, 15.5. Getting close to 16. 16. Starting to get very lean. 16.4. 16.8. 17. Car's still running. 17.5 I saw it go up to. 17.9. Now it's maxing out at 18. Now it's maxed out. Car's still running though. Ooh, it's not happy though. On the flip side, it did only take $20 to fill up. Car stalled. It barely wants to rev. It's really low on power right now. Yeah, it's not running very good. So what we did learn from this is that your car will run with 85 if it's not meant for it, but it'll run really badly, low on power, extremely lean, and honestly, it's not safe. If you accidentally filled up all the way full tank, your best bet is going to be to drain the tank and fill up with gasoline, because this could be very bad for your engine. It's extremely lean and lean conditions are not good. But I'm not going to leave myself stranded here. I did have a plan to be able to drive this thing home. I do have a tuning software, and I'm going to add 30 to 40% more fuel just in order to make this car drivable. So right off the bat, I'm going to add 30% of fuel and see if that takes care of how lean the car is running. 30%. Let's see if that brings my air-fuel ratio back to stoichiometric. Wow, 30% almost nailed it. It's right back at 14.7, and I'm sure you could hear that the engine did, it perked up a little bit. It sounds happier. Wow, okay, so 30% on the dot, and AFR is back to normal. So I guess the takeaway of what happens if you put 85 fuel in a non-85 car is that it runs very poorly. It'll stall, hesitate, basically barely run, because it is 30 to 40% too lean, which is very bad for your car, because it can cause detonation and all kinds of other issues that you don't want to have. Not only that, but 85 vehicles, they're made from the factory with you know, a special fuel pump, special fuel injectors and fuel lines to handle the E85 or the ethanol that's going through the system. So to effectively convert your car to handle E85, you need a fuel pump, larger fuel injectors to handle the extra fuel requirements. To take the extra step, you need to redo your fuel lines to handle the ethanol over a long time duration. But the only reason I knew it'd be okay in this car is because even though I added 30% more fuel to bring my AFR where it needed to be, my injector duty cycle was still at like 88%. As far as fuel delivery, this car is able to deliver the right amount of fuel to get the AFRs where they need to be. But again, it's a stock fuel system, so long-term ethanol usage in this car is it's not a good idea. But anyways, I really hope you liked this video, and I hope it was helpful. If you did like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.